Have you ever wondered if there are little things, tiny habits you do every day without thinking, that might actually make others feel uncomfortable, maybe even awkward enough to quietly distance themselves? It's possible they've noticed these things for a while. Maybe they even wanted to say something, but held back, not because they don't care, but because they do. They didn't want to hurt your feelings. They were afraid of upsetting you, someone they love, respect, and have known for years. You see, as we grow older, so much changes, on the outside and deep within. But here's the ironic part. We're often the last ones to notice those changes. Meanwhile, the people around us, they see it. They sense the shift. They may not say anything, but they remember, and sometimes they quietly pull away. This video isn't here to make you feel bad. It's here to help you see yourself with fresh eyes, with kindness, with deeper understanding. Because sometimes, just one small shift in awareness can lead to a stronger, more meaningful connection with the people we love. And who knows, what you're about to hear might just change the way you see yourself forever. As we enter our 60s, then our 70s, and eventually our 80s, the body begins to shift, quietly, almost silently. Our hands don't move with the same ease. Our hearing becomes just a little less sharp. And our memory, sometimes it drifts in and out, like a breeze, here one moment, gone the next. These changes come naturally, no warning, no loud announcement. And because of that, sometimes we don't even realize how much we've changed. Little habits, harmless in the past, might now make others feel unsure, a bit uneasy, not quite knowing how to respond. It's never intentional. None of us want to make others uncomfortable. But the truth is, as we age, things we once managed effortlessly can slowly slip from our awareness. Maybe it's a story told one too many times, or a small lack of manners at the dinner table, or a habit that, without meaning to, creates distance between us and the younger generation. I know, that's not what you want, and that's exactly why I'm here. Not to judge, not to criticize, but to gently shine a light on a few small things we may overlook, so you can continue to keep the bond strong, warm, and full of mutual respect with your children, your friends, and the people around you. Because the truth is, if we catch these things early, they're easy to adjust, and you deserve to be seen for who you truly are, the wonderful, thoughtful person you've always been, without the little things getting in the way. So come on, let's begin this together. Number 1, neglecting self-care. Do you remember the last time you really paid attention to how you looked? Maybe there was a day you rushed out the door, wearing a wrinkled shirt, uncombed hair, old slippers worn thin, and you thought, well, who cares anymore? But people notice. They don't say anything, but they see. And deep down, they start to wonder, are you doing okay? Do you still care about yourself? Taking care of yourself isn't about impressing anyone. It's a quiet way of telling the world, I still respect myself. I'm still here. I still deserve love. I'll never forget the story of Mr. Lincoln, 76 years old, living alone after his wife passed. For months, he barely stepped outside. His hair was long and messy, his fingernails dirty, and his old shoes falling apart, laces undone. The neighbors were worried, but no one quite knew how to say it. Then one day, his granddaughter came to visit. She didn't say much. She simply took him to get a haircut, a shave, and bought him a clean, new shirt. That evening, he sat down for dinner at a neighbor's house. For the first time in almost a year, people smiled. Their eyes lit up. Not because he looked younger or handsome, but because he looked like himself again. Clean, put together, and somehow like he was ready to live again. You see, taking care of your appearance isn't shallow. It's a way to remind yourself, and gently remind others, that you still matter. Number 2, complaining too often. Have you ever noticed? There are some people, the moment they start talking, the whole room feels heavier. It's not that they're loud. It's just everything they say comes with a sigh. Ugh. This heat lately is unbearable. Kids these days have no manners. My back's acting up again. I probably don't have much time left. Each comment on its own might seem harmless, but day after day they build up, creating a cloud of gloom around you. And slowly, the people who once loved being around you start pulling away. They won't say it out loud, but they visit less. They stay for shorter conversations. They quietly drift off, because words carry energy. When you speak joy, others feel lighter. When you speak gloom, the air gets thick, heavy, and hard to breathe in for too long. I once met a man named Peter, 82 years old, living in the suburbs. After his wife passed, it was like the light in his eyes disappeared too. Whenever neighbors stopped by, he'd greet them with complaints about his health, about politics, about how life had lost its joy. It didn't take long before no one came around anymore. One day, he sat down and looked through his old journals, the ones he used to fill with daily moments of gratitude, back when his wife was still alive, and he decided to give that habit one more try. The next day, when the mail carrier showed up, instead of complaining, Peter said, "Isn't it a beautiful day? The roses out front just bloomed. Did you notice?" The mail carrier smiled, and the next day he lingered a little longer. Then a neighbor stopped by, and then another. Nothing big had changed, just the words Peter chose to say out loud. And that small shift changed the energy around him and brought his closest relationships back to life. If you're still watching this video and finding these valuable insights, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Number 3, talking more than listening. As we grow older, every wrinkle on our face tells a story. Each scar, each memory, holds a chapter of a life well lived. And yes, you deserve to be heard. But let's not forget, listening is also a gift. A quiet, subtle gift with powerful impact. Many older folks, out of love and genuine care, often want to share a lot. They jump into the middle of stories. They interrupt, or they unintentionally steer every conversation back to their own experiences. It's not selfishness. It's often fear. A fear that time's running out, and they might not get the chance to say all the things that matter. But then what happens? The grandkids smile, but their eyes start to drift. Friends nod, but their hearts check out. I'll never forget the story of Mr. John, 79 years old. He used to be incredibly close with his 3 grandkids, but lately they stopped coming around as much. He felt hurt. He thought, maybe they're just busy. Maybe they don't care like they used to. Until one day, his youngest granddaughter gently said, "Grandpa, we really want to tell you about school, about work, but every time we try, you jump in with another one of your stories from the old days. We love you, Grandpa, but we need you to listen too." Mr. John was stunned, and from that day on, he made a small shift. Ask before telling. Listen before speaking. Now, every time his grandkids stop by, he begins with a simple question. "How was your day?" And then he looks them in the eye and listens with his whole heart. The result? Their conversations are warmer, more lively, and go both ways. Because when you truly listen, you don't just hear the words, you connect with someone's heart. Number 4, dressing too sloppy. You don't need to chase fashion trends. You don't need designer clothes. And you definitely don't need to try to be someone you're not. But you do need to show the world that you still care about how you show up. A well-pressed old shirt, a simple pair of clean shoes, a winter scarf, thoughtfully chosen to match your skin tone and silver hair. None of it is about looking good in the shallow sense. It's a quiet, unspoken language that says, "I still respect myself, and I respect you too." Now on the flip side, if you're often in wrinkled clothes, shirts left untucked, shoes untied, or even forget to button up properly, people might not say anything. But inside, they start to wonder, is something wrong? Has he stopped caring about himself? I remember a man named William, 81 years old, living in a small apartment near the park. He was smart, kind, and well-mannered. But for a long stretch, he wore the same 3 worn-out outfits: wrinkled shirts, sweaters with holes, cracked leather shoes. His friends started hesitating to invite him out, not because they judged him, but because they worried he had lost his spark. One day, his 16-year-old grandson took him out to get his clothes pressed and to pick out a few simple shirts that fit just right. Nothing fancy, just clean, fresh, and comfortable. For the first time in months, William looked in the mirror and smiled, a gentle, peaceful smile. The next day, when he walked through the park, his old friends lit up and waved. No one mentioned the new clothes, but their eyes sparkled, as if to say, "Welcome back." You see, taking care of your appearance isn't vain. It's a quiet act of self-respect, and a powerful way to stay connected to the world around you. Number 5. Losing patience in public. As we get older, sometimes our tolerance wears thin. A long line at the post office, a cashier who's moving a little too slow, or a doctor's appointment running 15 minutes late. It doesn't take much to make us sigh, frown, or start to complain. And honestly, that's completely understandable. No one's blaming you for feeling tired or frustrated. But here's something to think about. People may not remember how long you had to wait, but they'll remember how you handled the waiting. A heavy sigh, an annoyed glance, a muttered complaint can shift the entire mood of a room. Especially for younger folks, they're incredibly sensitive to the energy around them. But here's the thing, you with just a soft smile, a calm, "That's okay, take your time," or a simple nod of understanding can turn someone's entire morning around. I once met a man named Mr. Bean, 78 years old. Every outing used to feel like a battle for him. The bus was late. The clerk didn't hear him clearly. The waiter messed up his order. And Mr. Bean, he'd get snappy. He'd complain. He'd grumble out loud. Until one day, his granddaughter said quietly, "Grandpa, I love you so much, but every time we go out together, it's exhausting. Not because you're slow, but because you're upset with everything." Those words hit him hard. And from that day on, he made a change. He practiced smiling. He started counting to 5 before reacting. And even when he was annoyed, he'd take a breath and say, "It's okay, no big deal." The result? Their outings became fun again. His granddaughter laughed more. She held his hand a little tighter. And Mr. Bean? He felt lighter than he had in years. Patience isn't weakness. It's a quiet kind of strength, the kind that makes people admire you not just for your age, but for your character. None of us are perfect. And the truth is, all of us have probably slipped into one of those small habits at some point. Not because we meant to, but because we were tired, overwhelmed, or caught up in the quiet weight of aging. The worries, the aches, the losses we carry. But here's the beautiful part. The moment you become aware and choose to shift even just a little, the world around you begins to shift too. Maybe it's the day you decide to wear a nicer shirt, not for anyone else but for yourself. Maybe it's the morning you choose to share a funny story, instead of sighing about the weather or growing older. Maybe it's a quiet afternoon where you look your grandchild in the eye and ask, "Is there something you want to tell me today?" That is how you reconnect. With your family, with your friends, and most importantly, with yourself. You don't have to pretend to be someone you're not. You don't need to force anything. All it takes is living with a quiet kind of dignity, and people will see you, truly see you, with love in their eyes. So, out of the 5 small habits we talked about today, which one made you pause the most? Which one spoke to you? What's the one small shift you're ready to try? Starting today. Maybe it's choosing a brighter shirt. Maybe it's listening just a little more. Even the tiniest change can open the door to something more beautiful than you imagined. And my friend, whether you're 60, 70, or 90, you still deserve to be loved, to be heard, to shine. Not because you're perfect, but because you're alive. And you're still here with a heart that's warm, kind, and full of quiet strength. If you're still here, still listening, I believe you're someone who truly wants to live with meaning. not just for yourself, but for the people you love and the connections you cherish in this life. So tell me, out of the 5 habits we shared today, which number hit home the most? Drop a 1 to 5 in the comments below, or share one small change you're willing to try tomorrow, even if it's just picking a nicer shirt or being a little more present with your kids or grandkids. Don't be shy, because sometimes your story becomes the inspiration someone else has been quietly waiting to hear somewhere out there in the world. And if this video touched you in any way, please hit like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so we can keep bringing you more healing, inspiring, and meaningful content, made especially for this beautiful season of life. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for still living with sincerity and quiet strength. I'll see you in the next video. And always remember, you deserve a beautiful life at every age.